Welcome to a tiny slice of Italy, because today we're heading backstage, not to vote, well not yet anyway, but over to the shop, because for one backstage pass you can land yourself the 1968 Lancia Fulvia Coupe Rally 1.6 HF. Nice car, very long name. From stock this thing has 130 brake horsepower, 119 foot-pounds of torque while weighing just a shade over 1,800 pounds with a 1.6 litre engine. The only catch is front wheel drive. Anyway, going over to the front of this thing, it does look pretty cool indeed. Going to the side, it does look pretty nice as well. And then going to the back, we've got kind of like your classic 60s styling of vehicle. And as I've just mentioned, it is of course the 60s, so you've got a rather nice wooden dashboard as well, even down to the steering wheel. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a listen to that 1.6 litre. So this thing looks good, it sounds nice, but are the upgrades going to be as nice? Let's go ahead and jump over to conversion, over to engine swap and see what we've got. We've got ourselves the 2 litre inline 4 VVT, we have ourselves a 1.6 litre inline 4 turbo rally, and also a 3.5 litre V8 as well. As I mentioned at the start of this video, this thing starts out front wheel drive. You can go ahead and make it rear wheel drive or all wheel drive should you wish to, and we'll do that a bit later on. And if you want, you can also go ahead and either slap a turbo or supercharger in this thing. In the meantime, let's go over to aero and appearance and go over to the front bumper where we've got ourselves a little Lancia option to go ahead and add on some extra lights or just a little bit of Forza aero. Going to the back, we've got ourselves just a little piece of plastic known as the Forza wing. And then going to the rear bumper, we have an option from Lancia to not really do much at all. That is actually kind of disappointing. In the meantime though, our mechanic Mac has been very busy throwing together a little A-class road build for us. Let's go ahead and bring up the share code of that very quickly. There it is, feel free to go ahead and grab that for yourself. We're going to go ahead and do that, download and install it and see what it's got. So with these upgrades we're even lighter now at just a shade over 1,720 pounds with a whopping 337 brake horsepower at the top of A-class. So this is going to get very interesting indeed. So those upgrades installed, here we are now over at the paint shop. We've got nothing in advance sadly, but going over to manufacturer colours, we've got ourselves a few. We have ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colours for this thing, and I've got to say, I kind of like it in the blue. Unfortunately, that now means it's going to take an age to save the paint. Now, while I've been fortunate enough to see quite a fair few classic cars in my time, the Lancia Fulvia is the one that has still escaped me even now, so hopefully I might get a chance to see one in the future, but at the moment, with how rare these things are, and we'll get to that in just a few, I really don't know if I'll actually get the chance to see one. Right, away we go. We're now up against 11 other brilliant classics. We've got ourselves quite a fair few here. We've got another Lancia behind us, we've got another Ford behind us, but our aim is to go through all this lot and make it out in first. And hopefully, we might just be able to do that considering we've managed to make it into third by the first turn. And now I've got to try and beat a turbo brick and a mini. Okay, update, 22% progress and we're up into second already, and I think if I'm brave enough through here we just might be able to grab ourselves a first place. Which, to be honest, grabbing that by 30% through the race is honestly quite impressive. In the meantime, I did say these things are rare, and I've had a look at the numbers, and approximately 1,280 of these specific vehicles were made. In the UK registered, there's only 8. And if you want one for yourself, then 2 of those are currently up for sale in the UK via Car and Classic, and the prices range from around £27,000 all the way up to £80,000 sterling. All this in US dollar, of which for a car like this is impressive, and also on the verge of insanity. Because while yes, it is a very nice classic car indeed, and it is quite a rare car, £80,000 is still quite a lot for this thing. Is it a price that you'd pay? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, 95% through the race, 1 more turn to go. We are very much comfortably in first place. So across the line we go with all that. And we've got ourselves a time of 2 minutes and 8 seconds. So I've got to say that was a very impressive race indeed. But now we go from racing a car to voting for them, because on the backstage vote this week we've got a very interesting lineup. On the right we've got ourselves the Cadillac CT4V and the Mustang SVT from 2003 versus the 2022 BMW M5 and one of my personal favourite British cars, the Vauxhall Lotus Carlton. And because I like that car, it's getting my vote. Do you agree? Let me know. And now we go from voting for cars straight back into racing them, because our mechanic Mac has been very busy putting together a drag racing build for this thing. So once again, let's go ahead and bring up the share code quickly. There it is. Feel free to go ahead and grab that for yourself. We're going to go ahead, download and install it and see what this tune's all about. So with these upgrades, we are now at just a shade under £1,850 while boasting over 700 brake horsepower and drag tyres. So this should be fun. Ah, well that's awkward. I've just gone out to go and check the drag racing and it started raining heavily. Oh dear. I think I'll just go back in the garage till it dries out. Right, here we are now after half an hour of waiting. We're now back over at the edge of the festival. The ground's dry, so let's go ahead and get a bit of a wheelie check out of this thing. What do we get? Actually, something quite impressive, I can't lie. Although, I wonder if it can do it in reverse. Mac, if you're watching, you've done it once before, could you do it again? Right, here we are now over at the edge of the drag strip. Let's go ahead and get ourselves onto launch control. I've not been told any specific way to launch this thing, so we're just going to go with this. And away we go. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. Just a shade over 700 brake horsepower. This thing is still extremely light, coming in at under 2,000 pounds in weight. Let's go ahead and see what we can get out of this thing. We go through the camera rather at 184 exactly, then off the end of the runway at 196. And oh, that's not gone well. First it was lack of brakes, now it's lack of steering. However, now it's our turn to go ahead and have a little bit of fun with this thing, so we're going to jump straight to conversion. We're going to go ahead and throw in, I think we're going to go with, I think we're going to pick the 3.5 litre. And of course we're going to go ahead and twin turbo it too. And while we're at it, we're going all-wheel drive. Although to be fair for doing that, I'm going to slap on some good tyres and we're going to go ahead and make them wider not only at the front, but we're also going to go ahead and make them wider at the back as well. And now we get to the best bit, adding power. By the way, if anybody happens to know what car the 3.5 litre V8's out of, please go ahead and let me know. Hang on. Hold on. Right, I'm no expert at Forza, but I don't think it should be doing this. In the meantime, while my car attempts to drive itself away in the background, we're now at just a shade over 1,920 pounds with 710 brake horsepower. And now the fun begins, because I've got to try and go ahead and tune all of this. Oh dear. In the meantime, here's a look at this week's Forzathon shop. We've got ourselves the Napier Railton, a Horizon backstage pass, the air guitar remote, the Ferrari 488 pista, the orange suit outfit, the Horizon super wheel spin, and the regular Horizon wheel spin as well. And now, out to the motorway. Right, now we have that upgraded. Let's go ahead and see how close we got to the motorway grade today. The answer is nearly, just not quite. Right, here we are now over at the edge of the motorway. We're on launch control and away we go. Just a shade over 700 brake horsepower, all-wheel drive, very light. Let's go ahead and see what we can get out of this thing. Personally, I'm hoping for something pretty good. I do have to say though, this thing sounds absolutely evil and I love it. In the meantime, out the speed zone we go at 220.12. We've still got the downhill and speed camera still to go, and this thing is still accelerating, which for us is a very good sign indeed. Right, the camera's up here somewhere. There it is, 224 rather, 0.20. Going downhill, 227, 228, 229. Do we get any more than that? We do. 230 out of the tiny little V8 powered Lancia. Right, where's our sign? There it is. On the brakes we go. What do we get out of this thing? Do we get anything decent? I mean, it's not been as great as previous weeks, but it's still not horrible. Although, like usual, we've still got one more test to put it through. And of course, if you watched these videos before, you know exactly what we're doing. We are going drifting. Let's go ahead and chuck this thing in. Hope for the best. We are all-wheel drive at the end of the day, which means hopefully we should get a pretty decent score. And we do. 39,120. And at least this time I avoided the wall. But can we avoid it going back the other way? There's only one way to find out. Let's go ahead and chuck this thing in for round number 2 at 39.1 thousand is of course the score to beat. We are doing very nicely so far. Do we get any better? We do, 40,106. To be honest, that was about the best drift line I could ask for. So as it turns out, this is a neat little all-rounder. It can do racing, it can do drag racing, it's pretty decent on top speed, and fantastic to drift with. So really, what's not to love? And the best bit of all, it's completely free if you get yourself a backstage pass as well, which hopefully shouldn't take you too long to get. Especially as I showed earlier, you could get one via the Forzathon shop, and you can also get them via 40 points in the playlist. So if you want my opinion on this thing, I'd say it's actually pretty decent. In the meantime though, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. We're trying to push to get towards 1.5k at the end of the year, and so far we're doing pretty well. In the meantime though, thank you very much for watching. Tech out. See ya. I never thought a Lancia could be this fun.